हरे यमुना तारे यमुना तेरा बनचारी यमुना तेरा बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नित्य गुर हरि बोल नित्य गुर हरि बोल नित्य गुर हरि बोल गुर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव और प्रेम नंदी हरि हरि बोल जय ओम विष्णुपाद प्रजोत श्री श्रीमद श्री भक्ति विधान स्वामी महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय नाम चरण हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री विद्या गदाधर शिवसती गौतम की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय नवदीप धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय यमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय गौर निताई की जय श्री श्री राधा गोलोकानंद की जय गौर प्रेमनंदी all glories to assemble devotees all glories to assemble devotees all glories to assemble devotees all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ji ki jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yeah. So we are continuing our reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter 45 and verse 23. With permission from Maharaj and all the senior Vaishnavas, please bless me so that I can say something purposefully. Thank you. Yata yoyam brajatat Yata yoyam brajam tata Vayam cha sneha dukhi tana tana Vanaya cha sneha dukhi tan Yanito Yatina vodhishtame ashmyamo Janitin va darshitam yishayomam Vidhaya sudharmam sukham Vidhaya sudham sukham Yatayam vrajam tata Vayam cha sneha dukhita Yatino va drishtam yashyashamo Vidhaya sridram sukham Yata, please go. You yavam, all of you cowherds. Brajam, to Braja. Tat, my dear father. Vayam, we. Cha, and Sneha, due to loving affection. Dukhitan tam, miserable. Gyatin, relatives. Va, you. Drishtam, to see. Yashama, will come. Vidya, after bestowing Shrudam to your loving friends, Sukham, happiness. Translation by the disciples of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai. Now you should all return to Braja, dear father. We shall come to you, our dear relatives who suffer in separation from us, as soon as we have given some happiness to your well-wishing friends. So please repeat. Now you should all return to Braja, dear father. We shall come to see you, our dear relatives who suffer in separation from us, as soon as we have given some happiness to your well-wishing friends. Purport. The Lord here indicates his desire to satisfy his dear devotees in Mathura, Vasudeva and Devaki, and other members of Yadu dynasty who for so long had been separated from him during his stay in Vrindavan. Tasmai Shri Guruvaya Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yenam Bhutle Samarupa Kadamayam Dati Sapadantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Udet Gadadhar Shivasati Gaurkinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So here we can see that Krishna is in fact asking his father that he should go back to Braja. So that's Krishna's desire, because his father didn't know at that time what should he do, So I will just read Vishwanath Thakur's stika here. Hearing the words of Balram, Nanda may say, "Oh, what I am to do? If I take Baldev back to Braja, there will be great rejoicing there. But in Mathura, among the Yadus, Vasudeva will especially grieve. It would be a great sin for me. Kansa killed all my sons, and one son who was protected from his hands, Balbhadra, has been taken away by Nanda to Braja. Nanda is not my friend. He is second Kansa for me. Thinking in this way, Vasudeva will curse me thousands of times. How can I or Krishna live happily at all?" So this is how he might think, Nanda Maharaj. Seeing Nanda standing silently, lost in anxious thought, Krishna then spoke and comforted him, waking him up and reasoning, "O father, you should now go to Braja. I, Baldev, and friends like Madhumangala will go to Braja later in order to see you, but now we will stay in Mathura for a few days." Anticipating the question of when he would return to Braja, he said, "After making your friend Vasudeva happy so that no one will find fault with you, we will come home to Braja." After bringing Baldev near his parents and letting them show affection for him to their heart's content, we will return. We will come back to Braja when all necessary work is completed, so that all can be happy. Jai Vishwanath Thakur, Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. Sanatana Goswami's tika on this is, He consoles Nanda, go to Braja. You, with the cowherds, return to Braja, O Father Tat. He invokes affection so that Nanda will follow his instructions. We here refer to Krishna, Balram, Uddhava, and others. So that's the Krishna is referring to all of them. Or the plural indicates politeness. I will come with Balram. We will come to see you, our relatives suffering from separation all times. The Yadus are not our relatives. You are more important than the Yadus. I will come because I cannot repay you. This is confirmed by the statements like Na Praya Aham. I cannot repay you. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:32-22. I will come to see you, not to pacify you fully, because you are suffering. Since you have extreme affection for me, in separation you long for me, and in seeing me you fear separation. You do not attain happiness in either not seeing me or seeing me. It's impossible to make them happy. This is explained in Bhagavatam Prita. So now you can see the scene here where Krishna is deciding, in fact, after seeing that his father was a bit confused, and not only that, he didn't want to offend his very good friend Vasudeva either. So the background has been like Krishna and Balram were visiting friends, and then they visited his parents, and they were released from prison. And noting that his parents, Vasudeva and Devaki, had realized his true position as gods because they were not embracing him, Shri Krishna expanded his Yog Maya to again make them think of him as their dear child. So he has to use his Yog Maya. And then with Lord Balram, Krishna approached them and said how unhappy he was that he and they had been unable to enjoy the mutual satisfaction of parents and children who live together. Then he stated, even in a lifetime of 100 years, no son can repay the debt he owes to his parents, from whom he receives the very body. Any capable son who fails to support his parents will be forced in thereafter to eat his own flesh. Indeed, any person who does not maintain and nourish these under his care, children, wife, spiritual masters, brahmanas, elderly parents, and so on, is simply a living corpse. So it was out of fear of Kansa that we could not serve you. So now please forgive us. Vasudeva and Devaki, overcome with emotion upon hearing these words of Shri Krishna, embraced their two sons in ecstasy, shed a torrent of tears. And this is after when Krishna expanded his Yog Maya, because otherwise he won't embrace them. So having thus satisfied his mother and father, Lord Krishna offered Kansa's kingdom to his maternal grandfather, Ugrasena, and then arranged for all his family members who had fled in fear of Kansa to return to their homes. Protected by the mighty arms of Krishna and Balram, the Yadvas began to enjoy supreme bliss. After that, Krishna and Balram approached Nand Maharaj and praised him for having cared so lovingly for them among another son, Krishna then sent to Nand Baba, a dear father, please return to Braja. Kindly knowing that how much you love us, and also other relatives are suffering in separation from us. And Balram and I will come to see you soon, very soon. We have satisfied your friends here in Mathura. We have to satisfy. So Krishna then worshipped Nand Baba with various offerings, and Nanda felt overwhelmed with love for his sons. After tearfully embracing Krishna and Balram, he took the cowherd man and departed for Braja. So now we can see that one is not able to pay debt for all bringing up. So I guess even in the last verse also, it was made clear that actually they are saying the person who is maintaining them is the real father, And so this way, Nand Baba is thinking, but I cannot tolerate the suffering of my friend, so he is thinking differently. So therefore, you must stay with your father. So Nand Baba is telling them that you can stay. And then he's telling them, two of you will somehow enjoy with Mathravasis as well as your Yaduvanshis, and somehow or other we will live in separation. See, we are only your guardians who took care of you as our own son. So we are not seminal father and not the real parents, and who will bear the child in her womb is not the real mother. So, but in real world, seminal father and mother, they are considered real parents, technically speaking, But here, Krishna is giving more emphasis to the people, or especially when they were not able to, his parents were not able to look after them, and then somebody else, their friend, took care of them. So basically, this maintenance is very, very important rather than birth, So in fact, in Vedic tradition, it is said, it's a very well-known fact, that one must bear two children. Two children means you have to get rid of your pitra debt. Pitra rena, it's called pitra rena. Pitra rena means it's debt from the forefathers. And so basically, like you have been brought up by your parents, means set of mother and father. If you don't produce two more kids, so then it's like a rin. Rin means it's a debt, like you owe, because somebody or your parents brought you up and took care of it. So in order to get rid of that debt, you must produce two kids. So that's called Pitharin. So this is very prevalent in India, especially like who are following Vedic Dharma, So maintenance is very, very important. Now we can see even the major task of maintenance is taken by who? Lord Vishnu. He didn't give it to anybody else because it's the most important task, And so we can see Lord Brahma, he does create. He's in mode of passion. And still it's a very difficult task to start a creation, It's not an easy task. And then Lord Shiva has been given another responsibility. He's in charge of mode of ignorance. But still, destruction is comparatively easier than construction. right? You can just bang it and it's all gone. Construction, it might take long time. So Lord Shiva, you may say it's easy task, but it's not. Because he is Param Vaishnav. I mean, he is looking after all these living entities who are suffering, and then finally, by his mercy, even ghosts and goblins are brought to transcendence or Krishna conscious. I mean, so if you are a true devotee of Lord Shiva, because he is the Param Vaishnav, and if you worship him sincerely, eventually you will get back to Vishnu Tattva. Technically, Lord Shiva himself is a Vishnu Tattva, not actually Sadashiv. So this expansion, Lord Shiva comes to this material world. And then he's trying to help the worst condition of living entity, especially the ghosts. You don't have the body. Goblins, I mean, who are in mode of ignorance, who somehow lost it, So he's the one, he goes to crematorium. He is just retrieving all these living entities for their salvation, So this is a thankless task, So now we can see that that Vishnu, who is in mode of goodness, so he takes charge of mode of maintenance, and that's what here it's being said, that maintenance is the most important thing, but Lord's objective is just to protect and establish dharma, and it's said in Bhagavad Gita very well. Yada yada dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhitam adharmasya tadatmanam sarjayaham prityanam sadhunam vinashaya cha durskritam dham sarvasta panarthaya sambhavani yuge yuge. So his first task is to protect the devotees and then kill the demons. So demons comes later, So that's what he did. He killed the demon, Kansa, and then he established the dharma, and he gave the kingdom to Ugrasena, who was none other than his father. See, what a demon does, he does all kinds of nonsensical things. That's why he's called demon, And in this case, that he imprisoned his own father. So he put them in prison, and then he became the king. So this is Kansa. And it happens many times in the history we have seen. People have done that. And these are very elevated kings, still. They know dharma better than us in Kali Yuga, but still, the Maya is so strong to lord it over. They do it anyways, So, and like the Shahjahan is the one who built Taj Mahal. Now, Taj Mahal he built because his wife died all of a sudden, and he loved his wife so much, Mumtaz, that he had this idea just in her memory. He built such a beautiful building, and but he was always thinking of that, And because of that, his son thought, my father is now useless. That he's just lost in some other dreams, So he's not maintaining the... so what he does, he imprisons him, puts them in the jail, and then he becomes king. And this is Aurangzeb, And he killed so many Hindus, so-called Hindus, He used to collect so many kilos of Janeau, this Brahman thread. So he was so brutal, So we can see that history is there, that demons don't care. They will, by any means, by hook and crook, they don't even care for their kids, that they will take over. So that's the nature of the demon, And so here, Kansa is imprisoning his own father. And Vasudeva was his minister, chief minister. So he puts them in jail too. So that's how it happens. So then Krishna establishes back. He gives the kingdom back to Ugrasena, who was the rightful owner of the kingdom. It's not that, because technically he's the one who brought the win. He killed Kansa. Technically he could be, if some other person was in his place who was in mode of ignorance, he would be lording it over and would be the king of Mathura, But no, Krishna established dharma, and that's what Krishna does. And so somehow or the other, so Krishna stayed there, but later on you will see Krishna is sent to Avantipur, for studies under Garg Muni, and to take the, I don't know, it's, okay, Sandipani Muni, Sandipani Muni. And, okay, no, I'm confusing, he was sent to Garg Muni to take the vow of celibacy, brahmacharya, all that, And after that, receiving that Brahman Diksha, so that they were sent to the ashram of Sandipani Muni in Ujjain. It's called Avantipur Dham. It's still there. It's one of the dhams, Avantipur, it's in Madhya Pradesh. That's where we have ISKCON temple, Maharaj, Bhakti Charus Maharaj center in a way. So that's where Sandipani's ashram is. So that's where Krishna was sent, and in 64 days he mastered all the kalas, all the Upanishads, all commentaries and all that, and so that's how it's still there, that, and in Ujjain, even if you go now, especially every 12 years, there is Kumbh Mela. Kumbh Mela means that all these transcendentalist sadhus and all Babajis and all that, and they get together. And so this happens every 12 years. It happens also in Prayag. So this is one of the dhams, Ujjain, so they go there, So that's how it is. And later on, it's amazing that when Krishna was present, there were so many demons. Krishna's life was not easy. If you look at his life, people used to call him all kinds of names. They used to call him Kana. Kana means black boy. Yeah, black, dark colored boy. Yeah. So, and not only that, he was always chastised by these gopis, because he will steal or do something. His leelas were excellent, but technically speaking, his life was not that easy, that he is born in jail, then he's sent to foster parents in a way, and then people are abusing him, and these gopas were not very kind. They used to call him as we call by abusing names. He was called like that. Yeah, it was fun because it was Krishna. He could make it fun. For him, Parikiya Bhav is fun. You steal, it's enjoyable, But only he can do it. Otherwise, you steal in material world, you will be put in jail. But Krishna is different. With his difficult life, he made it so beautiful, so full of joy and all that, So, but I'm just trying to compare the material situation, like if somebody was materially placed in that way. I mean, Krishna is Krishna. But if we were in the situation, we will be really in very bad shape. And on top of that, he has to kill all the demons, but he could. So its life was, and one demon after the other. I mean, and so it just was really bad. And not only that, I mean, when he goes back, and from Sandipani Muni's ashram, he comes back. He comes back to Mathura, again. And then Jarasandha, I mean, the king, I mean, he invades Mathura, And who is Jarasandha? Jarasandha's, I mean, his daughters were married to Kansa. So he had two daughters, and his two daughters were married to Kansa, And their names were Asti and Prapiti. I mean, after Kansa was killed, so they go to their father, Jarasandha, after the death of Kansa, and that they were weeping bitterly, in front of their father, and saying, "Dear father, our husband was so nice, he was so sober, he was so sweet. He was simply sitting and watching Krishna play and act and kill the demons or kill the wrestlers. He wasn't doing anything. He was just watching. But without any cause, then Krishna dragged him out of his throne. I mean, so this is the perception of the wives. And that in that Rangshala, they call it, and they killed him. Krishna killed him, dragged him and killed him without any cause, because Krishna was his nephew. He didn't even fight back. He was so innocent, and generally no uncle will slap back to his nephew, and therefore Kansa did not protest when Krishna was beating him. He was defenseless. Hearing, seeing this cries of the daughter, I mean, Jarasandha says, "Okay, dear daughters, don't worry. I will go to Mathura and kill them all. No issues." So now you can see how people can twist the same situation. And maybe that's how they think. Like, it depends on what side you are on, right? If you're on the side of a demon, your perception is different of the same. Like, truth is twisted, In their eyes, he was just enjoying the game, and here he comes and drags him, and kills him. So it's very, very interesting how when you're bound by affection, a material affection, like you're willing to go a step forward to twist things in your favor. That, especially in this material world, it's very, very thing. But in Vrindavan, that's not the case. Especially when you're living, loving who? Krishna, Their love is totally different, It's not as much lust involved. Our love is with lust, And so, I mean, one has to be Shuddha Bhakta, that way, So in this way, we can see that Krishna leaves Vrindavan, but he doesn't leave. Like Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, there are two prakashas, means understandings, of this, that did Krishna leave Vrindavan or didn't leave? There are two prakashas, And he says, these are in section of Krishna Leela. One is Apakata Leelas and then is Prakata Leela, which means one is unmanifested Leela and one is manifested Leela, like in Apakat Leela, which is unmanifested Leela, the understanding is that Krishna and Balaram went back with Nand Maharaj. So, spiritually speaking, that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. So, technically, he says, Chakravarti Thakur, that he went back. But in manifest Leela, they didn't, and we know that. They never did. So they stayed there, So, but the point is that you enjoy more in separation, So that's where the love is enhanced, especially if you're a devotee. That's how, like Brajbasis, they are having aesthetic feelings for Krishna, because they're longing for him. They're being reminded for his Leela. They are remembering all his activities in Vrindavan. So that's why that's the highest like mode of love in the mood of separation, So anyhow, I think I should stop by 4 more minutes, right? Or it's about time. So any comments, I will open it and then we can talk more. I have a little more, but it's okay. Hari Bo, Hare Krishna. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So true. So true, And we can witness in our what you call day-to-day living. I mean, like all these politicians, how they twist things and how they do whatever they do. Yeah, so true. This is and the thing is, funny thing is, I think it happens in every age. I mean, Kali Yuga, the worst one. I mean, they twist things more. I mean, like this is like Treta Yuga when it was happening. The Dwarpa or Treta. Yeah. Yeah. So even when Ramchandraji was there, things were happening there too. Demons were there. They were killing. They were doing all kinds of nonsensical things. So that's what happens, And in just talking when have a pure devotional service, and if you are going through a dharma, I mean, you reject things, Dhruv Maharaj, like Prahlad Maharaj rejected his father, So if your perspective is right, you can see right. That's why we need Bhagavatam and all these just to keep our focus right, Otherwise, we get bewildered, And look at Prahlad Maharaj. Look at his condition. And his father was, a rascal. He won't say it, but that's what it was, in spite of the fact, And he went through so much difficulty just because of his father had different perspective, So it's and not only that, it's what bothers me. It happens in the yugas when, technically, it's not that bad. The people are more advanced. They know more of shastras and all that. Still, it happens. So we can see how bad it is. Like even like Bali Maharaj rejected Shukracharya, his own spiritual master, for the right thing, So you have to be very discriminating and try to understand the scriptures in our case. Okay, anything else? Okay, sure. Yeah. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Samaniti Namane Krishna Shunyavani Ashachane Zatarane Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadana Sivasadi Komakta Vrinaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Sivasadi Goloka Prinda Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Ragat Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvatacharya.
Sarvatma Snapanam Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bhavada Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapitani Amita Smaranena Kala Etad Vrishita Bhakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinada Pisu Nichena Tarora Pisu Hishuna Amani Namana Dena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamae Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Hoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripayatava Pada Pankajas Tita Duli Sajasham Vishintaya Nine Kulakarnishitam Papukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishyava Padamratam Padastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatatava Vindatolam Pato Mat Prananatastu Salavanapara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen in the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna